Hey folks, Warzone Resurrection 2.3 changes. It's me, John Caspian. I'm going to share this stream real quick so that you can share it as well. All you got to do is look at your phone, press the share button, and then share it to a group or share now. Share now is right there. Share it to groups on the right-hand side. So I'm going to share it to the big old Warzone Resurrection group so people can start watching, especially over in Europe with the big changes. Very exciting, but here in the US as well. Share it there, and it's done. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's start off with point changes. So, I was talking with Andreas, and the big things that they're focusing on are some point changes for characters and the basic overall, like a lot of little things, kind of tightening up the overall rules, some changes for visionaries, etc. But before we get into the individual armies and some of the rewording of the basic rules, let's look at the point values for some of the characters. So here you can see, I think the things that are higher are things like Big Bob. I think we've lowered Vance Harland a little bit. Vince Diamond, I believe, has been lowered. And I can bring up the 2.2 to do some comparisons, but overall, I like these point changes. It's basically going to make it a little bit more competitive to bring your characters, which is great. So again, this one is toward the end. You can download this by going to protosgames.com or Googling Protos Warzone Resurrection core book or whatnot, and it should be able to find the download page pretty quickly. It's all free online. And we have some different abilities that have been added to the cartel agents, etc. But let's go all the way back to the top and start from the beginning. If you can see this okay on Facebook, that's great. If you can't, you can see us on YouTube at Giga-Bites TV, all one word. And I can pop that one up here if I can find it. Never mind. So, new entry, the gaming table. Warzone should be played on either a 4x4 or 6x4 table. Models are either in play on the table and affected by normal rules, in play but not affected by normal rules like markers, or off the table as reserve. So that's three conditions that your units can meet when they're not destroyed. Models removed from play, destroyed. It's a different matter. But as you're setting up, it's the three ways you can set up your models. Very clear, very precise. Thanks, y'all. A model may not leave the table except as part of its own movement action and is then removed as a casualty unless it was fulfilling a mission objective by doing so. Important to know as well. I like that. Dividing. This is important because some people get confused by math, so it's good to have this. They changed if an attribute or range needs to be modified, they changed it to value. So literally, if a value needs to be modified, you apply the mathematical principle. So that's a good wording change. Makes it a little more clear, which is nice. Stun. This is interesting. They changed it from perform free actions and the next AP spins by this model to be recovered to lose the stun status. A little confusing. Change it to conduct any actions and must, at the next opportunity, spend its next AP to recover, i.e. lose the stun status. So it has to try to lose that if it can. Good to know. What else? It automatically recovers without spending any AP if it's forced to move or perform action. So if I cast Dominion on your dude and he's stunned, he's immediately removed from being stunned. That's cool. So remember, stuns are per model, pinned is for the squad. CC attacks against stunned models become auto hits. Vehicles can't be stunned. Yeah, that'd be weird if a vehicle could be stunned, right? Page 10, change the light blue text in the entry of the control phase. Allow the opponent the opportunity to play a strategy card first, or have the opportunity to play a strategy card first and let the opponent have the first activation. Seemed pretty simple before, but just to clarify, when you're playing with the advanced rules, you either go first and your opponent plays a card first, or you get to play a card first and let your opponent goes first. Either way. One of you gets to go first and one of you gets to play a card first. If I have a nice strategy card, I'm definitely going to play that first. I'll let the opponent take the first activation. That's fine. I'll make up for it with that awesome strategic card. Flyers. Insert flyers may start the game either flying or landed. So you could hide your flyer behind a building for the first part of the turn, make sure they don't get shot down, lift them up, and then fly them on. So I can imagine that would be useful for any number of things, like the Nova. So the Nova has the cool ability to let the Mirrormen get what? Is it flank deployment, rapid deployment? I'll check that later. But I haven't looked at the Nova a whole lot. But anyway, it's got the cool thing that goes, so you don't get your Nova blown up like right away. Bullet points, cannot use flame, light flame, tempates. 2, cannot use F-type weapons. So that clarifies a little bit of the wording, so it's a little more simple. Let me see if there's any comments here. If anybody has some... Huh? Oh, link! Yeah. Let me put the link here into Facebook. Bam! PDF done. So you can look at it yourself. Nice. Cool. Characters. After the whole thing where they don't gain passive abilities, you add, if an unbreakable character is part of a squad when it fails its break test, the character travels together with the broken squad until it recovers. So that makes sense. Rather than giving the squad the unbreakable characteristic or having any sort of confusion, that character goes along with the squad, which, you know, that works fine for me. It makes it easier to keep track of, and I'm all about less bookkeeping. It's very fun. Characters change from before the game starts, the player may choose to attach characters to a squad. Before the game starts, players may choose to attach a character to a squad, 1 per squad. So people were saying, oh, I could attach multiple characters because it says I can choose to attach characters to a squad. So it doesn't give the restriction of only 1, and now it says 1 per squad. So very clear. Very clear. Let's see if there's any other comments. You guys just put them in here. If you have any questions, we can jump around if need be. Let's see. With advisors. Okay, this is interesting. So the advisors take up the appropriate OOC slot, right? They can join a support or troop squad before the game begins. But we're adding models which are both characters and advisors may be attached to a squad before the game begins as an advisor, or may be attached before or during the game as a character. So if it is a character and advisor, it can be either one. Very important, because it has an example here below, which is really useful. While attached, the squad counts as having an attached character, even if the model was attached to the squad as an advisor, and thus the squad may not be joined by a second character. Let's take an example. Scroll down a little bit, make sure you can read this. Make sure it's visible. Yep, fully visible. A chasseur squad may have an Attila and an oppresseur as an advisor, and a Dr. Diana neoclone attached as a character. The Attila and oppresseur will not take up light vehicle slots, as they must be attached to the chasseur squad at the start of the game, but they can't leave it. Very important. The Dr. Diana neoclone may freely leave the squad. While the neoclone is attached, the squad uses her leadership for morale tests, and if the squad fails a pinning or break test, the whole squad, including the Attila and the oppressor and the neoclone, they're all affected. If the neoclone leaves the squad, it uses the chasseur squad commanders or acting squad commanders' leadership. And if the squad fails a pinning or break test, the whole squad, including the Attila and oppressor, are affected. So while those guys are joined as advisors and whatnot, they basically act along with the squad. So the character, being the neoclone, can go in and out as a character would, but then those advisors are stuck with the squad. Same thing would happen with like a visionary for troop squad, etc. So they are basically one with the squad. They're just extra support, I guess. Change guarded from 2 inches to 3 inches, a little bit less confusion, which is really great. Before, you had 2 inches for guarded, and then other things were 3 inches away, like your guns for your spray, for your spread, from your primary target to secondary target. Those are 3 inches, and then guarded was 2 inches. So this makes it a little bit more uniform. You just gotta remember that magic number 3, and you're good to go. Vehicles and monsters now may not guard or be guarded. Important to know. That's very good. Action points. No action except orientate and cast. So they changed pivot to orientate, which in the US I guess would be orient. Orient myself. Orientate. Yeah. Either way works great. So basically you can orientate as much as you want during your turn if you're an infantry or non-vehicle. Vehicles still have a pivot allowance, so that's one thing. But in terms of like an infantry model, at any point you can always just turn how it is, because that's a free redoable action. So you may change the facing of the model as you see fit. Oh, there we go. Unless that model is engaged or started to turn off the table. You can change your facing how you see fit. So if I want to turn him around before the end of this activation, I'm going to do it. All right. Let's see. I didn't skip anything there. Good. Yes. Battle focus. Here's a little change. The battle focus now has to be against the primary target. I like it. Very cool. Battle focus must be against the primary target, rather than just the next attack roll. So before, you could nominate a primary target and then say, oh, I'm going to use the battle focus against the secondary target. So it's a little restriction, but I'll take it. Makes sense. Sentry action. Ooh, this is going to be big. The next, place a sentry marker next to the model and end its activation. So as soon as you do your action for the sentry, it's done. Finished. I like that. Cool. Change from no more than 50% of the models can be placed into sentry to 50% rounded up. Done. Ah, this is great. So the using resources section has been chopped to where it's a little more concise, which is great. So using res, they had this whole, kind of bulky, a little bit word heavy, and they've chopped it down to a lot more of a simple one line per thing. So let's read it all and make sure that it all makes sense. So for A, the model gains AP +1, can only be used before performing any action on a non-vehicle model. So as soon as you've activated your model, you do it before you start doing other actions. So that's just a way of saying, rather than doing a walk action and a shoot action, you know, failing the shoot action, and you say, oh, crap, well, I'm going to do sentry. No, that's 2 AP, isn't it? Well, maybe you, whatever third action you might do, you now have to sort of try to pre-plan, and then that way it avoids the whole, oh, I'll just spend a resource for an extra action, even though I failed this one thing, or if I successfully blew someone up with a grenade, now I'm going to take another action because I made it. Need a little more risk involved in that one. B, the model gains heal +3 during the resolution of a single hit, and for that hit only. Once per model per turn. So 1 damage you can try to heal with a +3. And remember, heal's only at a maximum of 8. So if you're at 5, you get full advantage of that +3. Give yourself a heal 8. C, the model may gain ROA +1 for a single weapon before performing a shooting or close combat action. Simple. I like it. Also, some abilities, weapon abilities, or equipment require the use of resources. Nice. Yep. Pretty darn concise. If anyone has any questions on these things, just let me know. I think if I have any confusion on things, I'll definitely say it for sure. Hidden agenda, they changed it from model cannot interact with objectives or control table zones. They've changed that to control or contest table zones. Okay. I mean, I thought, you know, sometimes people try to take advantage of rules, and you just have to add wording or change wording to make sure that it's a little more clear that you should. There's one later on that I thought was like, it seemed so obvious, but it still had to be written in. But when we find it, I actually scoffed when I read it. I was like, what? Who would you know, take that the wrong way? Flamers use the normal flamer template or small flamer template as described in the weapon's R value. Okay. Cool. So they delete light flamer and that stuff. They delete flamers do not benefit from battle focus actions. So now they do, but as template weapons, they don't get the +2 to strength. Okay. Large explosion, delete entry. Small explosion, delete entry. I'm going to have to see what this looks like in the big rule book. Grenades. Okay, so grenades have done a lot of changing in 2.3. You have regular grenades, which now say that you can designate a point on the ground, even under models, which is cool. And now they have hand grenades. We'll get to that in a second. So grenades have special rules as described in the ranged combat section. They're exempt from target priority rule. Good to know. So you don't have to do a check for that. Awesome. Remember that. Exempt from target priority rule. Right there. Bam. All right. Short-ranged burst. This is cool. So when it says when targeting models within 12 inches with a ranged attack, it's now the shooter's primary target is within 12 inches. Okay. So your primary is exactly 12 inches away, and then you have a secondary target that's 14 inches. You still get that +1 ROA. Good to know. This was interesting. This is the one I scoffed at. I don't know. They literally had to do this because someone tried to bend this around and say, "Oh, my model had -2 wounds, so it wasn't exactly 0." Y'all, come on. You can't do that. Look, it was when a model is reduced to 0 wounds due to a hit from this weapon. They've now had to clarify it says 0 wounds or less. You can't get below 0 wounds. But someone said, "Oh, if I take 2 wounds off of 1, it's -1 wounds." Come on. Jeez. But they had to write it because someone argued and they said, "Oh, no, because 1 minus 2 is -1, not 0, huh?" Sorry y'all had to write that in there. Marshall and Andreas team. After the smoke ability, add strafe. Okay, so strafe is a new thing for HMGs, LMGs, the big machine guns. It basically forces you to distribute your shots. So let's read the rule, and then we'll see what we can explain a little bit if need be. So it says, after primary and secondary targets have been nominated, the ROA, rate of fire, of the weapon has to be distributed evenly as possible between all targets, with no target having more than 1 shot in excess of the others. So 3 troops, I have rate of fire 5. I do 2 shots, 2 shots, 1 shot. No matter the numbers, you can always get it pretty evenly distributed. Make sense? So 5 ROA, 4 guys. Everyone has 4, and then you pick 1 dude to have an extra ROA on him. So 5 shots, 4 guys. Easy. No matter what, you can always distribute it to where it's pretty evenly done. Cool, huh? And what that does is that allows you to shoot at a small group of people, and rather than having 4 shots on your primary target and have 1 shot on your secondary target, you can have 3 and 2. Or, I guess you could do 2 and 3. You could do 2 on your primary, 3 on your secondary. Huh. I'll take it. That'd be cool. Grappling hooks. Okay, this is cool. So there was confusion on grappling hooks as to whether or not the distance that the grappling hook has, so grappling hook 10, if that counts towards your overall movement allowance. So they did take that out. It says, when climbing and jumping from height, a total of X inches, let's use 10 inches of vertical distance per activation do not count against the model's movement allowance. And it doesn't make contests when climbing. So the first 10 inches don't count. Great for gray ghosts, for Imperial Mao. Awesome. I love it. That is great. Everyone has 4, Daniel says. For what? Let me know. For what? What did I say? Reword traps. Okay, this is cool. So traps aren't used too often, but I did actually play a game recently where I had to face off against traps. It says after leave the trap in play, it says after resolving the trap, the surviving model may continue its activation. If a trap goes off and there are multiple targets, the trap's owner chooses the order in which models are effective. The trap's owner, not the player whose models are being affected by that. That's cool. Oh, and it says when it goes off, they've added immediately suspend play and roll. Like, yeah, that makes sense. But I guess someone didn't. They said, oh, let me complete his activation before the trap goes off. It's the only way I can think of why they would have to write that exact wording in. Because someone tried to take advantage of that. But it's fine. It's fine. We're all cool. Ranged attacks and terrain. Insert, the attacker decides from which point of his model or size screen the view of the defender is checked, and thus his cover. That makes sense, because that's basically saying when checking line of sight, I'm going to use the left-hand side, top left, whatever. And then they check toward that. That's fine. I'm cool with it. Page 26, special rules and templates. Add. Template weapons do not have their strength modified when performing battle focus. Okay, so they've basically taken out all of the redundant entries for templates and then standardized the effect on it. So all special rules for all templates have that one. Template table replace 7-inch trapezoid with an 8-inch trapezoid. Okay. Bigger is better. Making a ranged attack with grenade weapons. Here we go. This is the fun part. Let's start looking through this. Before, it said nominate any point on the battlefield within line of sight and range. Now they've added the target point needs to be on the ground, including beneath models or on terrain features of any elevation level. So if you're shooting up into elevation, I guess, whatever, elevation 2 on the second story of a building, it's on the ground on that elevation. So it doesn't have to be on the ground floor of the building. But it can be underneath a model, which is cool. So put that template in the middle of that model if you want to. Hopefully catch him if it spreads. Now here's the cool one. Thrown grenades. This is the new thing that they're doing for 2.3. In case of strength-based grenades, the throwing model may attack without line of sight to that point by throwing over and intervening obstacles. No more than 3 inches high. That's standard GW building height. It must be possible to establish a vertical arc that does not double back on itself. When it says do not double back on itself, here's a roof. I'm going to use that right above my head. If I'm below it, I can't throw it up here and it somehow magically goes back around. It doesn't work like that. So it has to at least, and we're not using a perfect mathematical parabolic arc. Let's not talk about that. But if it at least can go vertical and up and over, that's fine. Don't make it perfectly mathematical. That's not the point of that. It just says don't make it completely weird that it has to go backwards and loop back over itself. It also means you can't throw curveballs around corners. It has to be a vertical arc. So it's somebody chucking a grenade over a wall. Example, an étoile mortant, I can't pronounce that right now. I don't want to speak French. Mortant can throw a grenade through a window of a house she's standing in front of, but can't throw it into an enclosed bunker without windows, nor can she throw a curveball around a 4-inch column. It makes sense. Makes total sense. So you have to be able to have some sort of window or something. But if there's a wall or a roof, it can't pass through solid objects. So I know at Giga-Bites we have plenty of buildings that are in ruins, so you'll be able to chuck grenades in there for sure. Just no curveballs. The one thing I could see though is if you like threw it off of a wall, maybe, but that I'd rather just keep it more simple. Making a ranged attack with small explosion and large explosion templates. Rename to making a ranged attack with weapons that use SE and LE templates. Okay, that's cool. Oh, this is interesting. Free slash. After free slash against vehicles, against a random location, a model can only be hit once per turn by each other model this way. Restriction. I take it. I will take it. Yes. Oh, I see, Andreas. Thank you. It's always 8 inches, just wrong in the book. And then Daniel says, can't ricochet grenades either. That's right. So you can't ricochet off walls. That just make it a little too complicated. And then different materials bounce different ways. So let's not get into the logic of that one. Let's stick with chucking it over a wall. That makes perfect sense. We've seen it in every World War II movie ever. Saving Private Ryan. What a movie. Oof. Let's see. Broken. Oh, this is cool. So if the model reaches the board edge before recovering, they're removed from the game and count as destroyed. I just kind of rewords it to say, if any model reaches the board edge, remove it from the game, it counts as destroyed. So that's just a wording thing to make it a little more present tense, a little bit less of a kind of a weird verbiage. Number 30, page 37, I had to read what this was before. Making an attack at a vehicle. Making a ranged attack at a vehicle. Okay. Open transport. So we had questions about if a rail hits the things that are in a transport. So this says, if an open transport is hit by a rail line, roll separately for the transport and each transported model if they are hit. If an open transport is hit by a template, both the transport and transported models receive automatic hits. Ooh. All right. Auto hit with the template. Deployment at the top. After the deploy models as stated below, squads always deploy fully before resolving any effect. So let's think about that. I was just thinking traps and it's right below there. Example, if a squad is entering the battlefield would trigger a trap, finish placing the squad before resolving the trap. So that's the one condition of immediately stop play, because I guess play hasn't started when you're still deploying. Finish that deployment of that squad and then resolve was all the trap. I guess there's some other examples I could think of, but let's keep on moving. And if y'all think of any, just put them in the comments. That'd be great. Stalk. Let's see. Add, for purposes of determining line of sight to the markers, use the respective size-dependent screen. 40mm base, 40mm screen. Simple as that. I like it. Flank. Change from whatever it was and add, deploy the rest of the squad in coherency either along the chosen table edge or quarter. I thought myself that was assumed. That's why I've been playing it, but I'm glad to have that clarification. That basically means if I deploy my squad commander on the starting edge here, let's use my bottle cap. He's along the edge there. I can't deploy my other purple shark over here that's, 10 inches away from the table edge. He can be 10 inches away down here on the table edge, but he can't be over here away from the table edge. Makes sense. Thanks for the clarification for that. Rapid deployments. Oh, this is good. They've clarified the size of the point that you say that you're coming on a rapid deployment. So when you do rapid deployment, you choose a point in the battlefield, and now it says the point that you choose must be the same size as the squad commander's base, and it has to be an unoccupied open terrain. So the size of that base is the same size as the squad commander. So for my purple sharks, it's going to be a, what is it, 40 or is it a 50mm base? Big. It's a big base. Resource gathering. It used to say 4 or 5 nodes, but there's only 4 nodes in the mission. So now it says if you gather from 4. There you go. Nice. Card utilization. It says add to the ends. Cards cannot be played on squads that are not in play at the start of their activation. So flank, rapid, void, etc. I believe it counts as stock as well. I don't know, but I assume that that's stock. So if the squad is not technically in play because they're taken up as markers, you can't use a card on them. So let's see, Praetorian Stalkers. Funny enough, their name is Stalkers. You couldn't put a card on them and then reveal them. You'd have to reveal them and then play a card on them next activation and whatnot. Good to know. So pivot action is now officially changed to orientate. Really fun word, orientate. And that's the change of the new additions and such to the rules. So now we're going to take it to the various factions. This could take another 2 hours if I go through every single one. So I'm going to do with the popular ones that we have not really seen, and that's going to be Brotherhood to start off with. And then I'll also go over the Wolfbanes because I'm curious about them as one of my new factions. He says, Andreas here says, problem was with Dominion for free slash. Ah, yes. So if someone made a Dominion on you, they could put you back into close combat range with models and then take you back out again within 5 inches, right? So you'd have backed away and gotten the free slash, and then a Dominion could put you back into close combat and then do free slash again. And you could do that over and over again as long as you were leaving the person's close combat weapon range. So quite a bit of an exploit. Yes, so pivot was changed so that it doesn't confuse players with the vehicle pivot. So vehicles do not have the orientate action, so they can't freely change their orientation. Yeah, exploiting a rule like Dominion. Yeah, Dominion's a good one though. Now I believe the debuff rule says you can't affect a squad more than once with an ability. So if you do Dominion on a model, only one model of that squad can have Dominion cast on it. Now for characters, it's a big deal, but for lesser squads, that might not be such a bad thing. Someone clarify that with me. So let's go ahead and go to Brotherhood. We're going to start off with some new changes. Come on. There we go. Dominion. It says, this action does not count against the once per model per game turn restriction. So that is when a Brotherhood player casts Dominion on a Cybertronic character who has already moved twice. He can move him again. Basically another, it's as if it was your first activation or whatnot. Or you can have him shoot again. It's fine. Guiding Visions. This is good because I never used to do Guiding Visions before because it sucked for my willpower. So now it says their range skill and willpower is halved for the purpose of shooting. Great. Thanks, y'all. I might have to take Guiding Visions now. don't have to have line of sight. You can just shoot through walls and hope for the best. Might be good for a pre-rush or a pre-charge action. I like that. Rushing Tide, debuff, 10 points. Move all models of size 0 in the squad directly away from the caster. They've changed that to in a direct line away from the caster. Okay, that's fine. So an example that I would say, and this is something I want to ask actually Andreas how you would play this. I am on the first floor of a building, and I can look up and see 3 necromutants or something, 3 legionnaires. I cast that spell. Do they all get pushed off the building and have to fall like 6+ inches? If I'm pointing upwards like this, and I'm casting so they pushes them 6 inches away, directly away, in a direct line away from the caster, right? And it's from the center point of my model, I would assume, is what I'm casting from. The center point of my base is how I measure it, or the end of the base. I guess the end of the base is where I cast it from. So then they're getting pushed 6 inches up this way. Did they then fall that whole distance? That's the thing we haven't really done before. I think I've played it one time against a mission that way. Okay, good. So that is how it happens. So that's actually a fairly cheap ability for what that could do. If you are really good with positioning and you have a fast unit, you could cast that and then ouch time for whoever you're doing that on. Very cool. I love Brotherhood. They're great. Awesome models, too. Let's see. Cleared path. Changed. May treat all of their attacks as if they were the first when using a battle focus action. Okay. That just rewords it so that it says you can do the battle focus on everything. Ooh, this is cool. Thank you for the word change on this. Levitation is changed to ghost form, which means you can walk through walls. That's what that means. So, thanks, y'all. Appreciate that. Striking. Oh, and very useful for anything with predator senses. So you can walk through walls, charge straight through things. Ha! It's cool. Striking. Reword to caster. If the model performs a close combat attack, it has a CCWR of 5 inches for that attack. I don't know what it was before. So we'll go with that. And they've changed Assassinate. When making a close combat against the non-vehicle models we're facing, gain +2 strength and critical force 2. Ooh. All right. AC 31 is now flame/close combat. So you can use that in close combat. Ooh, that's sweet. Nice. Spear Strike. For 1 resource, all enemy models within CCWR receive a strength 11 auto hit. Counts as a close combat action. Nice. And Visionaries get ghost form. That's nice. Let's scroll down to the bottom of this. Has some other changes for Brotherhood. Let me find it here. So that was that of the additions and whatnot. And here are some changes. Come on. Almost there. Capital. Be Hood. All right. Here's some fun ones. Reprimand. ROA has been changed to 3. Dominic stat line's now 130. This is cool. And this is for all the Valkyries. In missions where rapid deployment is disallowed, this model gains flank deployment instead. All right. Valkyrie type, so no matter what, you have a way to get closer to your enemies without just being in your own deployment zone. Valkyrie type models in this army gain follow-up and preemptive strike. Wow. Okay. That is great. So Vestal Laura is now, was it Vestral? I thought it was Vestral Laura. Whatever. Follow-up and preemptive strike. That's nice. So follow-up, if for anyone that doesn't know, is where you can move 3 inches after you destroy a model. You can move after that. Hamilcar, he now costs 20 extra points if you take him in a non-Brotherhood army. Still worth it to me. Those having the powers in a capital force is amazing. I love it. Witch Hunter, add 1 squad of troopers may be upgraded to Frederick's Finest. These models gain the infiltration deployment option. What? What? Dude. So you can now put 10 troopers. Oh, man. Okay. So you can put 10 troopers and a visionary, or I guess 9 troopers and a visionary. Not visionary. What am I saying? Inquisitor. Derp. 9 troopers and an Inquisitor infiltrated anywhere. And they have snipers. I believe it's 2 snipers per 5 models. So you have 4 snipers in that squad. It's a little bit expensive, but just for taking the Witch Hunter, you gain that. Nice. And you can even paint them separately. So you have a brand. You can go ahead and get yourself, you know, another starter box of Brotherhood and get Judicator because point value for that's changed. Crinshaw's down to 115. I believe that's down from what it was before. Oh no, my favorite ability. Gaetano's inspiration ability is now 2 res instead of 1. Let's look at the comments. Whatnot. I do say whatnot. I like whatnot. It's a good word. Yeah, they would fall no matter what, even if you used a horizontal line. I like that. All right. Thank you, Andreas. You're great. Awesome. Oh, no. You've also nerfed Roberto's personal void shield. I loved this. This is the best. Okay. So it says friendly models up to size 1 in base to base of the token cannot receive hits as a result from any ranged attack. I believe it didn't have a size restriction before, I want to say. Don't quote me on that. That might be how I played it before. CW, if that's the case, then I thoroughly apologize for the several times that I've put a Judicator with dual AC cannons next to a void shield. Sorry. Let's see. Trooper types. Inquisitor now only costs 25 points as a squad commander. Nice. This is an interesting change. Holy Sentinels are now 1 squad per army with preemptive strike. So now if you have 2 or 3 squads, only one of them can boost up that extra 6 inches. Okay. Valkyrie's got a armor buff to 22. I believe they were 20 before. So that's been buffed a little bit. And they also gain the flank deployment if there is no RD for that mission. This is interesting. Visionaries cannot gain IA. No impenetrable armor. But still, they ignore exploit and always reroll fail armor tests. Okay, that's fine. Visionaries are still good, but that's a better nerf. It's not as outright, you know, bad. Judicator changed to 115. That's a nice little discount. I love it. Now you have Brutal, Divine Protector, Double Tap, Thunder's Demands. Divine Protector is what's right here. It says Brotherhood Troop type models, and I want to make sure that that's not Trooper or is that Troop type. Andreas, please let me know. If it's just Trooper, like the model Trooper, then we'll see. But if it's Troop type, then you can have Holy Sentinels gaining another 2 armor if they're advancing along with the Judicator, which is super useful because they already have like 23, 24 armor. Plus they have their shields in front of them, and another armor plus 2 would be great. But even just having my Judicator nearby some troopers would really help with their survivability. Cast some buffs on the squad, make their armor really high. I like that. Icarus, Advanced Landing Protocol, Graveyard Bomb Run, Gunslinger, Hard Hit 3, Sonic Boom. I don't know what it was before. I never used Icarus, so I'm not sure. It is Trooper, so yeah, I'm not going to call him. I'm going to stick with Feltordo, Andreas. Oh, CW, you can't judge me for using the greatest thing possible. So, for those of you who don't know Feltordo's Void Shields, you basically just put anything base to base, and it just can't be targeted by range attacks. So I had my Judicator sitting there just, you know, shooting at things anytime they got anywhere near range. So CC Troopers, Andreas is saying, it's for troopers, not troops. So that's fine. I would have liked to do it for Holy Sentinels. But if you ever take your troopers with shield and sword, then it would be good to have the Judicator nearby. So get your sword Judicator, not your double minigun Judicator. Vicaire, I believe, has been dropped in points as well. So there's the Icarus, which is the expensive one, and the Vicaire, which is the less expensive one. And it does not have the Graveyard Bomb Run. Nice. Sweet. All right, who wants to see any changes that you don't know about? So we have all of the different factions, and I can still be on here for another half hour, which is great. So just let me know what you want to do. Grab a little water here. Yep, let me know in the comments what you want to see. Let's do a little bit of capital since I'm looking at it. We got Napalm Strike. That's nice. Mitch Hunter is now automatically joined by Pride, even in a Doom Trooper squad. That's nice. I don't think it's any extra points now to take Pride, so that's a 20-point discount. Yep, he's just taken. He's just taken by Mitch. He has to. He basically is joined. Yeah, why would you take Mitch without the dog? Why would you take him without pride? That doesn't make any sense. Big Bob has been nerfed in points. And by nerfed, I mean more points, more expensive. 135. The Huey launcher, I think, has been buffed by 2 points of damage strength. It was 10, I believe, and now it's 12. That's good. Blue Shark has a nice discount. Yeah, I'm definitely going to take it now. So instead of 190, it's only 170. Wonderful. Vince is a little bit cheaper. Jacobs is cheaper. Punisher, short sword, add fire grenades. Let's look at this. Strength 10, precision 2 fire grenades. All right. That might mean we want to take Chuck Robbins. Chuck Robbins is the double-wielding dude, right? He's the Free Marines boss. I have too many characters for Capital. I can't take them all. I want more. I want to be able to take more. Nathan Castle's cheaper, 35 points. I believe he was 55 before. Oh, and this is great for Capital. Now, each of your infantry squads, light infantry and heavy infantry squads, gets a veteran sergeant. So they're a little bit more expensive if you take that, but only a couple more points. And they gain range, skill, and wound +1. So really useful for your heavy infantry commander to have that extra wound, especially when you're doing like stim packs and whatnot. Just a little bit extra survivability for 8 points. Yeah, I wish I could upgrade all of my heavy infantry with more health. Man, if I could have 10 heavy infantry with 2 wounds each, happy days. The LMGs, they get strafe. And now Purple Sharks have had their Grenadier unit nerfed. So instead of 3 inches, it's 2 inches, which is still fine. I accept it. I don't like it, but I accept it. And then Orca, I believe, is cheaper. I think it was 165 or something. So it's now cheaper. It's at 140. That's great. And that's it. All right. Immortal for Cybertronic lowered his point line. Ooh, let's read the new Mirage generator. Let's see. Oh, yes, Mirrorman. Let's go ahead and jump to that. Mirrorman stat line, change points to 18. I believe that's cheaper. Change +5 points to +2 points. All right, I'm going to have to look at the overall entry to see that. Abilities. Ooh, this is fun. They now have Camouflage 2. They have their Camouflage suit. The Chrome Mirrored suit. Disorientating... the wording there. Disorientating reflection. I think it would be disorienting in American vernacular. Hard to hit 2, paired weapons, CC and handgun. Nice. Poster boys, and stay frosty. So for 2 res, Mirrorman models in this squad gain hard to hit +2. All right. And then Chrome Mirrored suit. Res 2. Between the actions of any model, select 1 unengaged Mirrorman. All enemy models making any shooting action within 18 inches that could target this Mirrorman, regardless of their facing, must face a leadership at leadership divided by 2. Whoa! What? If the leadership test has failed, the model receives -6 RS? Good God! And must make that shooting action against any Mirrorman using Camouflage suit if able. Oh! What? Oh, God. No secondary targets may be chosen. Enemy models can be effective only once per turn. Get up in their face. Pop the Mirrorman mod. It's expensive. It's 4 res to do this, but dang. Hard to hit +2. In addition, they got to make a -6 RS. Wow. Okay. Wow. Dang. Let me look at the top section. I believe there was something on the higher section up here. Let's take a look. Is that cover it, Andreas? Is that the one? Come on, a little bit lower. There we go. Rise the machines. After eradicate the death droid, add an asterisk. May also be taken as light vehicle according to squad upgrades. Okay. And Mirrorman is medium base. I think that's the character. That's now medium base. Okay. Wow. That is a huge, huge win for Cybertronic. Woo. Wow. I'm looking at some Dark Legion stuff here in a second. Oh, man. Diana Clone has been cheaper. Pieter Diamond, Master of the Mirrors. Man, they're going to be pretty strong. Just to be able to kind of, I guess, take all that ranged attacking with all those negatives. Wow. Should say chrome mirrored suit instead of camouflage suit. Huh. Okay. Yeah, let's look at that again then. Let's look, scroll down. Chrome mirrored suit. Between the actions of any model, one engaged mirror man against any mirror man using chrome mirrored suit. Okay. Sure. That's fine. So that's basically changeable suit. So like one model can use the chrome mirrored and the other ones can use camouflaged. Good to know. In the ability. Okay. Camouflage suit, chrome mirrored suit. Well, they have them, but their ability is so they're activated. Okay. Cool. Thanks, Andreas. If that's still confusing to anyone, it's a little bit confusing to me still because I don't play Mirror Men. So you just let me know. We can maybe talk about it later. But Pieter Diamond, he looks good. Looks very good. Disorientating Reflection. I'm going to have to look at that one. Maybe later. Let's look at the Mirage Generator for the Immortal. Resource 1, place 1 Mirage Generator Mark 0 within 2 inches of this model. Every friendly non-vehicle model within 3 inches gains armor +3. And for each additional Mirage Generator in range, add +1 armor up to +5. Wow. Okay. So you can place multiple. It is a permanent token. So it has a stat line that can be destroyed, no problem, but it has, I think, 3 wounds. So that's always useful. You could really just stick some Attilas or something nearby and go to town. Nice. Very good. All right, let's see. What else? Stat lines for different characters are lower. Yeah, that's really awesome. Mirrormen look cool already, so I might have to go with the Mirrormen Propaganda Force. Let's see. Scorpion Unburrow is now replaced with this model's deployment point for RD may be placed within open or difficult terrain. If it scatters during RD, it only scatters half the rolled distance. If it scatters onto impossible terrain, off of the board or onto the model, reduce it as much as needed to legally place it. Wow, okay, so Scorpion basically, instead of like shooting down from space, it comes up from the ground. So logically, there's no reason for it to not be able to come up where it wants. So that makes sense. Exterminator Overcharge has been reworded. Let's see this. Overcharged Res 1. You may increase the HMG ROA by up to 3. For each ROA increased, this model receives a Strength 14 auto hit to its core. So whereas before you had to pay 1 resource per ROA increased, so you would have to pay 3 res, you now pay 1 res, and the penalty is having to take that Strength 14 auto hit. So it's still good, especially if you have that extra armor for those Mirage Generators. So that's a good reason to now start taking the Mirage Generators. Yep, and Chasseurs get a Mirage Generator Mark 1, which looks like it's a little bit different. Let's read this. Mirage Generator Mark 1. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So you can stack Mark 1s and Mark 0s. So both the Immortals Mirage Generator and the Chasseurs Mirage Generator are stackable. That's great. Once per turn, the acting squad commander can place permanent token. Sweet. That's awesome. Yeah. So add armor to your bro down there. Exterminator. That's awesome. Wow. All right. This is fun. This is making me excited about Cybertronic, especially with my armored chasseurs. They look great. Voltager, change, Ranger, release the drones, repurposed alloys, targeting system, unblinking eye, add targeting system, resource 1, model gains RS +2. That's fine. Res 1. Okay. I'll take it. Eradicator, Death Droid, changed to 160. I believe that's cheaper. It was like 180 before, I want to say. Yeah, cheaper. Ooh, let's move on to Dark Legion. This is exciting. Here we go. At the end of the page, insert, look at Brotherhood for comparison. Banner of Algaroth. Models in this squad gain CC and defense +2. Ooh. It's one thing I always forget when I'm playing Brotherhood. I forget about the books. You got like the Book of Law and all that stuff. I forget to use those, even if they're a resource. Still could be useful. Valpurgis has dropped a heck of a lot. Wasn't he like 185 before? Wasn't he a lot more expensive? Von Hol was like 80 points. Now she's 50. I didn't play with Dark Legion. I don't know for exact, but someone correct me, because I don't want to go scrolling around looking for the war book to compare exactly. But I feel like these are reductions in points. The Goliath is now 4 points. I think, was it 3 before? Now it's 4. That's good. Necromutant Leader changed to 50 points. I have no idea what his point value was before. Add for Necromutant Leader. Scroll down. There we go. One of those powers may be chosen for free if it costs 10 points or less. Ooh, okay. I take it you can cast powers as a Necromutant Leader. And now Necromutant Leader adds Preemptive Strike. Wow. So Preemptive Strike for Necromutant Legionnaires. Or Necromutants. Useful. Always useful. I love Preemptive Strike. Very, very good ability to start off a game. 6 inches is a big difference. Legionnaires may add a Necromutant Leader for 19 points. Change it to 20 points. Is that just to keep it more even? 19 points seems odd. I don't know. Huh. Heretics has been changed to a Kratach. Somebody else is going to have to tell me how to pronounce that one. Kratach. Carbine. English. All the different ways to pronounce stuff. Change Heretics to Squad Commander may replace his assault rifle with an auto pistol and may be upgraded with a psychic power from the Dark Symmetry list of whichever apostle they are a part of for the point cost stated. So basically that's adding more units and models that can use psychic powers, which is useful. I know that the big difference between Brotherhood and Dark Legion is the fact that your leaders are the ones that use powers in Dark Legion. So it's good to be able to add powers to the squad commanders. Very nice. So now the assault rifle has range 18, strength 1, ROA 1. Classic mid-ranged weapon. Most rifles are like 24 range, but 18's fine. It's all right. It's a little close to the 12-inch bubble. If you don't know, the 12-inch bubble is basically your target priority stuff. Heretics, the Apostle reward, change it from every loss they inflict upon enemy models. Every loss a Heretic-type model in this squad inflicts upon enemy models. Okay. Apostle's reward is Heretic-type models doing that. Nice. Necromutant stat line, 20 points. And now Necromutant. So Necromutants and Necromutant leaders, they get Preemptive Strike. Good change. A little bit more danger when they start moving in. Nice. The squad can be upgraded with a Banner of Algaroth for 10 points. That might be necessary to add that CC and defense, especially if you're getting up close and personal. Let's see. Grenade of Flies. If a model is hit, its squad range skill and CC are modified by -4. Whew. Man. Okay. Brutal. Throw it against some, I don't know, sentinels, holy sentinels. See them not be able to punch you in the face, slice you up. Resides. Change it to all-seeing, brutal, bodyguard, gunslinger, relentless, unnatural leap. Okay. Nazca Resides are 35 points now, and Stalker's armor is now 26. Much more survivable. Even the extra, I think it's 2 points extra, even 1 point extra. All the extra armor is always better. Right, Chris? Hope you're watching. Stalkers now have Bonded in Birth, means you take them in pairs. They're kind of like the Doom Troopers of the Dark Legion, so they come in pairs. The idea is that they're the Doom Troopers of the Dark Legion. Durable, Fear 3, and that's always for close combat stuff. Precision Deployment. What's that? Is that the one where you treat 20s as 19s for rapid deploy? I don't remember. Ranger, always good. Savage Charge. Savage Charge is resource for 2. Stalker type models gain Frenzy, which is the extra extra rate of attack, isn't it? That's good. Atachia hand cannon. 20 large explosion missile launcher. 3 ROA. Whoa! I think that's the big old behemoth's hand cannon. Okay. The behemoth now is 165. I think that's down like 15, 20 points. Somebody verify that for me. Stalkers gained Ranger. That's good. It didn't make sense for Stalkers not be able to do that. So now when you use your Stalkers as their infiltration, you can move them around a little more freely. Nice. Thank you, Andreas. Kratak. Thanks, Daniel. Black Widow. Add at the end, any Black Widow in the squad may be upgraded with up to 2 Dark Symmetry powers for free. Free Dark Symmetry powers. Black Widows are nice. I like that. And it's the Maculator's gun. Ah, okay. It's a Maculator. So the Maculator was nerfed a little bit. It was a grenade type weapon, so you could point it anywhere you wanted to. And now you have to aim at a model. It's different. It's a large. It was a small explosion, wasn't it? Now it's a large explosion. Still large explosion. Dang. They're 85 points though, so I'll take it. Nice. Let's see. Black Widow's new ability. Mobile Necro Pit. For every enemy model killed in close combat, place a marker next to it for 2 resources. During this model's activation, you may spend X, minimum of 5 markers, to create a squad of X regular undead legionnaires. Immediately deployed as if disembarking. Whoa. So, get up close and personal, kill a bunch of troopers, and then spawn them back out as undead. That's kind of gross. I like that. Ooh. Wolf Spider, which is the baby version. So cute. Oh, it's 85 points. Okay, let's read these stat lines. 6 speed, that's all right. CC 12, no defense. Range skill 13, pretty average. Willpower 14, it's okay. Hull's 28, but the weapons and legs are only 24. Oh, that's not great. Rear armor penalty is only -2, which is good. Size 3 is all right. That's the same as Adjudicator. It's fine. Doesn't block line of sight, but that's all right. Small model anyway. Any Wolf Spider in this squad may be upgraded with 1 Algaroth Dark Symmetry power for free. I like that. Wolf Spider coherency, change it to 12 inches so they can be a little more spread out. 1 to 2 Wolf Spiders. Take 2 of them for the price of 1 Black Widow, and they're less of a unit spawning thing. Okay. Aura of Madness. I'm going to have to read through that stuff. I'm going to get Chris Smith on here. We're going to do a live stream together, talk about it. Yeah. Yeah, it used to be grenades for Maculators, but it was a lot. I mean, I just got wrecked every time I went against them. Grenades are tough to fight against. You can put them exactly where you need to. Whereas if you spread out pretty reasonably, you can avoid even large template explosions. It's tough. Anything else for Dark Legion? Don't want to deal with Ilion. We can go through Ministry of War, but I am right about at my time limit. We're right at an hour of being live. So I'll probably do another live stream tomorrow about the rest of the changes. Yeah, that sounds good. Any other questions? 5 more minutes, and we'll be out. Bauhaus has gotten a lot of good changes, so we can pop up to there real quick, look through them. When I stream, my PDF reader freezes every couple of seconds. It's very interesting. It's only when I stream. If I'm just normal, it doesn't do it. Come on. There we go. Bauhaus. Ooh, did I miss all this stuff? Unblinking eye? Yes, I did. Okay. Let's do this then instead of Bauhaus. Sorry, Bauhaus, folks. We'll get to you later. Love you. Unblinking eye. This model may ignore RS modifiers for long range, rather than any effects that reduce the weapon's range. So basically, before, very few abilities actually affected your weapon's range, and now it is just modifiers for long range. Where do I get my what? I can't read. Where do I get my photo models from? As in the ones that I take photographs of, Andreas? Giga-Bites. But please send me more. I will send me all the models, and I will do just videos upon videos about unboxing and painting and such. I love all the models. Send them all to me. Literally, all of them. Including the Steal Your Stand one. That was great. Yeah. I love almost every single one of the models for Warzone Resurrection. Where was I? You got me thinking about building now. Stop. No time. Enhanced Unblinking Eye. This was changed from Reduce Neva to RS modifiers. Okay, we got that. Stay Frosty. Okay. The leadership value of this model can't be modified negatively except when making a rapid deployment test. That's interesting. I didn't think about that before. Human models. Yeah, message me what you mean, Andreas, when I'm not thinking about the stuff on the stream. We'll talk more about whatever you're asking. But just send me all the models so I can build them and paint them, please. After the core ability, add Tough. If this model is destroyed through hull location, transported models do not suffer the auto hits. After the core ability. Okay. Cool. So if it's a tough transport and the hull's destroyed, they don't take it. All right, I'll take that. Rapid deployment. Vehicles that arrive via rapid deployment start their activation with 2 or 1 AP if they're deploy engaged instead. So this actually happened when I was facing a new friend, Walter, up here in Cincinnati, and he rapid deployed his ATWALs right behind my heavy infantry, killing my guys. And then I rapid deployed my Martian Banshees right behind his. So everyone started with like 1 AP, and then I gave all 5 of my Martian Banshees an extra action so they could charge and then smack him in the face, killing almost all of his ATWALs. And then, is it Angela who's the one that goes along with the ATWALs? She actually broke morale because she was in the squad. She went with him off the board. It was great. All those points just gone. It was a beautiful moment. I was proud of my little Martian Banshees. Line breakers, of course. I don't think I'd ever rapid deploy Martian Banshees without line breakers. Doesn't really make sense. But yeah, okay, cool. So we'll get onto the other factions in a stream tomorrow and talk about them. If you are in the Atlanta area, come by Giga-Bites. We have almost the full range at the store. And then we're looking to create a couple of events now that 2.3 is out. So if you're anywhere in the Atlanta area, come by, come play, arrange a meetup, join our groups. If you're not, play anyway. Got the Warzone Resurrection League that Sebastian Crenshaw, don't think that's his real name. He's running that one officially, so make sure you're part of that. And until then, I'll see y'all later. Bye.